it'll be almost 6:20. We'll open the Board of Selectmen special meeting. And the only item on this special agenda is action on the application for funds for fiscal year 2020 Community Development Block Grant COVID-19 program. All of the selectmen, I think there's just one absent. Mike Pelton couldn't be here tonight, but everyone else is here. So I'll open up to the selectmen for their discussion at this point.
I have a question, Susan, for Mary.
Yes, Rick.
What type of van is the new van going to be? Is it going to be like a 12-passenger F-350 or?
It's going to be similar in size. We made the decision to go with an 8-passenger versus another 12. They are a little longer model than what we have right now, a little bit more spacious in size. But we felt if we had that as well as the 8-passenger that we have right now, that would probably suffice. We do still have that van that we share, that if we do trips, we have that ability to take the 12 people for a trip. But as far as running it around for especially appointments that we're doing, to have that extra, just an 8, we felt was the better option to look at right now.
Yeah.
Same size as 350.
Okay, but just 8-passenger.
Yes.
Yep,
Set up a little different. It's going to have the one on each side, one on side, and then 2. So it's not a 2x2. So it's a little bit set up a little bit differently.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions?
I have one for Mary.
Mike?
The kitchen renovation.
Yes.
Appliances, like all new. Is it renovations or appliances and renovation?
It's going to be appliances, which are going to be the major part of the renovation.
Okay.
We're looking at replacing the dishwasher. We have to do almost a commercial dishwasher. It's underneath the counter. We need to retrofit one. We have the sink that we have right now actually is very functional and will work, but we do have to add on to that with some of the plumbing on one of the sinks. It is a 3-sink, and we have to put on the bottom of it. I call it a burp area that keeps it from burping back up into the sink itself. It's for using for prepping area. We're looking at getting the stove has to be done if we're going to be able to do any of these kind of meals. And with that has to be a complete exhaust system put in. And we're going to have to look at that with the engineering and whatnot with the stove, the exhaust system. Looking at a piece of equipment that we have right now, then removing that from the kitchen and replacing that with probably just a stainless steel bench counter type thing that will be used for a prep area. It would be nice down the road to look at redoing the top of the counters. Putting the hood in, we're most likely going to be removing the upper cabinets that are in the kitchen right now. It's going to depend on which direction the hood is going to go with the venting, whether it can go out the side. And I've talked to the manufacturer, the guy for the hood system. It either is going to go up through the roof or it's going to go out through the side of the building, which is going to obviously reflect on cost-wise, with engineering or whatever, which direction we go with that.
Okay.
That hood system has to be quite extensive with that stove. So we've had the fire marshal in, I've had the health department in, I've had all the people that needed to come and check out the kitchen over the course of time, and recently to let me know what exactly would have to be done to retrofit our kitchen so we could go into that.
Okay. I asked that question, and it's more geared towards now it's geared towards Ralph. If the park and rec would be interested in the old stuff to put into the new park, their facility.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know about the condition of that. Looking at the condition of having been in that kitchen a number of times, I'm not sure.
That stove isn't going to go anywhere else, Mike.
Okay.
No. It's a stove. It's an electric stove, and it has the little itty bitty oven on one side and the regular oven on the other. So it's an oldie but a goodie. It's been in there since it might have been moved in when they did the senior center over to where it is now. So I don't know that that would be a thing to put in a brand new park. I'd like to see them get a new stove out there if they're gonna do
Yeah,
that.
well, what we've talked about, just as an aside for that, what we talked about is there are usually, and unfortunately, I think there might be more deals coming in the coming months, but you know, there's always, we've talked about there's great deals when people are trying to dump that equipment. And I know like the firehouse got a great, you know, stove on that kind of a deal. So when we've talked about trying to retrofit and fill that concession building, we thought we'd probably be able to do that same approach. And unfortunately, I think some of that equipment might be readily available in all sorts of ways in the upcoming months.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And not that stove. It was a good thought, though. It's a good thought.
I got to throw it out there.
Well, we can maybe ask any other people if they'd like to have that. We'd gladly probably help them move it.
Yeah.
So at this point, if there's further questions, we can certainly answer them. If not, we'll entertain a motion to approve our application to go in with the understanding that it would be for the kitchen, utilities, equipment renovations in the senior center, as well as a new van / bus, as well as retrofitting the van that we already own to be compliant with COVID-19. I do want to say, as the liaison to the Senior Citizens Advisory Board, almost every meeting we're at, and that's happened for several years, we've talked about the need to improve the kitchen. It does not meet commercial standards, and if we're going to be able to prepare some meals and make them available to seniors to improve their health and well-being, nutrition, social interaction, we need to do this. And in light of COVID-19, I think it's one of the very important functions that we can perform, and that is preparing meals and getting them out to those folks that need it, whether it's a frozen meal that's been prepared or it's one that's freshly made. I think it's something that can be very, very beneficial to our seniors in these days of the COVID-19. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the application and my ability to sign off on this application with your approval.
Sure, I'll make a motion that we approve the application to apply for the grant as for the equipment and for the equipment as presented, and also to include your ability to sign off to execute that agreement.
Thank you, Jim. Is
I'll
there a
second it.
Thank you, Rick. Discussion.
Susan, I just would ask, I presume Mary and Dale and maybe yourself priced this out. Hopefully you have included enough dollars to cover. Kitchens are expensive from my experience, so.
Well, I think honestly, Rick, I'm going to take another look at it along with Mary. Maybe I will ring you up and ask if you could take a look at it, or if you know of some other folks before we make there's not going to be a substantial change in what we're trying to do, but in terms of making certain that we've tried to cover the costs that we have. You know, we're anticipating it would not exceed $250,000, but it is something that I want to take another look at with Dale and Mary, you and anyone else that's willing to take a look, because you're right, kitchens are pretty pricey.
Yeah, and you might have to get an Ancel system or some sort of fire suppression system with the hood, which.
That's been included in the pricing, Rick,
Okay.
just in case we need the suppression system. The large hood plus a suppression system has been included in the pricing that was given to Dale.
All right, and then depending on how
That's
you
over $4,000.
will affect the numbers, as you know. If you go up completely through the roof or out the side, the longer they have to have that duct work,
Yep.
the more expensive it's going to be. So,
Right.
okay, just want to make sure we don't fall short. That's all while we're asking for money.
We will work with you, Dale, on that to make sure we're fine tuning not only the prices, but also the narrative that will be written. So, if you're ready, I'll call for the question. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you very much. And the
Thank
last
you,
item,
everybody.
thank you, Mary Ann, thank you, Dale. And I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Is there a
So
motion?
moved.
Jim?
Second, Ralph seconds.
By Ralph. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. It is 6:29. Thank you all very much. Have a good evening.
Everyone have a good night.
Good night.
Yeah.